thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
This has taken, I say, 2 years. I notice you've grown more white hair. Has this project been keeping you awake and stressed that much?
Well, I think all the people involved in this project, very few may have slept well in the last 3 years.
3 years?
Yes, this side is the area you handle cargo. You can see we have a lot of wagons here. This ordinarily would be marshaled from this area. So this area would be used for marshalling. But largely this is reserved for passenger trains. So these wagons are for ferrying cargo. You can see beyond there, that's a freight handling area. So you can see a lot of cranes.
Yeah.
That's where we handle the what you call the non-containerized cargo. It will be handled in that area.
Well, this is particularly for the business community because the key issue has been, transit times,
yes,
especially just trying to get cargo off the port of Mombasa.
Yes.
So with this, what are some of the cost benefit in terms of time and resources as opposed to transporting cargo on the road?
I think what we say is that a single train on SGR is able to deliver 4,000 tons of cargo from Mombasa, Nairobi. And it is able, depending on priority of train, at the speed of 80 kilometers per hour, it is able to get into Nairobi within 8 hours. And it will be able to offload the cargo on that location. Any containerized cargo is taken to the inland container terminal, which we are already expanding. It had a capacity of 180,000 containers per annum. Now we have expanded it to 450,000 20-foot equivalent containers per annum. That is tripling the capacity of that area. And that means then is that cargo owners are able to get their cargo in Nairobi within a matter of a day.
An average trip will cost you about 4,000 shillings. But that will not be very competitive compared to what it's paid by, let's say, as bus fare from Mombasa to Nairobi, which is about 2,000 shillings.
Yes.
So how do you hope to tackle this issue of pricing and making sure that people come to the railway?
The issue of pricing, both from the passenger fares and the freight tariff, are matters that we are addressing ourselves to. We are currently just finalizing that process. There's a team that has been looking at studying the market, what the current situation in the market is, both on land, both on air. There's another market that people move by road. Very many people move by road to Mombasa or to Nairobi without having to. So that is another market that nobody has taken into account. We are making sure that we are able to take care of all our passengers. We'll be providing, by December, we'll have brought in what we call the premier business class coaches. We now have the first class coaches here, and we have the economy class coaches to take care of the various segments of our society. So we are coming up with pricing that makes it possible for any Kenyan to be able to use that line.
So would you give a kind of an estimate on how much it costs? What
I can say is that by the time we announce those prices, and it will definitely be before the launch, you will find that they provide a very ideal and cost-effective solution to any mode of transport comparable.
Can you give an average and how much?
I do not wish to give an average at this point in time. I've seen a lot of numbers in the media. We are just at the tail end of concluding that process, but I can assure you the pricing will be a very good pricing that makes it possible for any Kenyan to be able to travel cost effectively and efficiently and fast.
With the traffic coming in from Mombasa, getting into Nairobi, now transitioning now to the railway now, the connecting railway, the internal railway system in the country. What's the arrangement on that?
Now we have we are working on a much bigger project which we call the JKIA connection. That project we started it off in 2013, but we didn't secure funding. We are now almost certain that we'll be able to secure funding and we'll be able to start off that project, I would say, in the next 12 months.
If you could maybe just get a bit of an understanding,
I
don't know, perhaps this will be the main side, the main railway line from Mombasa.
In this area you don't handle cargo.
Yes.
So the main line from Mombasa, there is a main line that gets into the cargo area, and then that comes to the passenger side.
Okay.
But the JKIA connection will come through from JKIA through our old Syokimau station, then comes through here you can see where you have the green platform.
Yes.
That is a temporary platform we are working on that will allow us for now to provide temporary service using our Syokimau passenger connection to get passengers to move into the city using the facilities that we already have. But the plan is, long-term plan is to improve on that service, get an efficient line from JKIA right into the city. And that we are at an advanced stage to conclude that process.
Maybe just for the benefit of our viewers, where the Nairobi terminus is located is actually on the in-flight berth with aircraft, of course, landing in the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. So, of course, with the sound of the horns of the railway, you'll also be seeing, kind of the aircrafts that are landing in at JKIA, which is actually in the same locality. So, sir.
So passengers from JKIA who wish to go to Mombasa can disembark here, take a train, cross here, take a train, go to Mombasa.
Great.
Passengers coming to the airport can come off here, cross, take a train, get into the airport. That is a future plan that we have.
As I said again, I'm sure this is actually a project that has really been taxing, and another stakeholders that you have had to deal with are the locals who are saying they're not getting the jobs right here, and it's actually earlier this week we saw there was a trend online which with the locals also protesting and saying we're not seeing a lot of jobs going in to the locals on the SGR project particularly.
I think the issue of jobs, we did promise, we committed that during construction there will be jobs available for Kenyans, and that period of construction, at the highest point, the project had employed up to 30,000 people. Yeah? If you add the indirect employment, they would go up to about 40,000 people. Currently, as we speak, because the works are coming to an end, the project still employs about 8,000 people. You can still, there are still works going on. That is a contractor still working, doing the ballasting work that is going on. And for the next 1 year, from June 2017 to June 2018, the contractor will remain on the ground to do what we call defects liability period, amending any issues that may arise during after post-construction. So there will still be people working who are already working in the project. As at now, I gave you a number of 8,000. Now, when it comes to operations and maintenance, we have a target of we are currently discussing, so we'll have about 2,000 people employed in the project. And maybe a third of those will be locals. We are expecting to have some Chinese coming to work with us in order for them to pass on the know-how, the technology to our people. So in the next 2 months or so, the project should be advertising, and we want them to advertise, we want them to do it in a very transparent manner.
What are some of the roles? Are they, again, a caveat to that is when President Uhuru Kenyatta was in China, he actually mentioned there should be kind of a reverse. The Kenyans should not be getting kind of, I should say, the low-cadre jobs, as opposed to the Chinese, having that knowledge transfer.
Yes. We have had a lot of people working on the project as engineers. We've had a lot of Kenyans working in the project as technicians. We already have people recruited as locomotive drivers. We've already had the passenger services people working on it. But what we are looking at is that we are negotiating now what skills we do not have locally. That is the skills that will allow them to bring from China or from wherever they have those skills available. But what we are also doing is to make sure that those who will come to work with us also have under them locals understanding them, so that within a period of 3 to 5 years, 90% of the people working on the project should be local. So the skills should have been passed on, so that then we can release the expatriates in our first approach to ensure that the standards and the quality of what we have spent so much to put in place remains, but in the hands of the Kenyans.
Great. I'm going to take you back to a question that I asked earlier, which was on kind of the key benefits we received from the President's visit to China. If we just, let's look at the funding. How much was secured, or how much was negotiated for the extension also of the SGR?
For the extension of SGR, the funding that was secured is for the development of the section between Narok to Kisumu, including the new Kisumu port. So it's about $3.5 billion US. and that is what we call Section 2B. So after the clearance by the two governments that funding is available, then the National Treasury and China Exim Bank get into negotiations. They come up with loan agreements, they negotiate the terms, and upon agreement, then the agreements are signed, and then we can go into project implementation. But as you are aware, we already secured funding for phase 2A, 1.5 billion US dollars, and that project is already on course. We have already issued a commencement order, and some of the works are already going on in terms of mobilization. So the process we have not yet started, and which we are just about to embark on, is land acquisition and the compensation that comes with it.
So you foresee another many years on the job?
We foresee a lot of work going on, a lot of employment for the people of Kenya, and a very bright future that we will soon be at Malaba. Uganda have already started their section.
You mentioned on Kisumu Port also.
Kisumu Port, yes, we propose to do a new Kisumu Port at a cost of 140 million US dollars, and that port will make it possible for Kisumu to be revived as a new hub for all the lake ports. It was a booming business. Now with that, you're able to serve the ports of Mwanza, Bukoba, Musoma, Jinja, all that area.
What are our neighbors saying about the launch of the Southern Cage River? Is there some bit of excitement, I would say?
We work very closely with our friends from Uganda and Ethiopia. They are very excited that we've been able to come this far under the Northern Corridor Integrated Project, and they are working very hard to be where we are. And that's why they have started their own phase 1. It's between Malaba and Kampala. It's a distance of about 270 kilometers at a cost of, I think, it's about 2.6 billion US dollars.
Looks a bit, on the high end, but
well, when you, looks a bit on the high end, but these are projects whose design life is 100 years. Roads in this country cost you 150 million to do a kilometer. And those roads, you have to resurface them within 5 years. And on the 10th year, that road is gone. When you talk about infrastructure, bridges that will last for 100 years and beyond. When you talk about simple sleepers, the sleepers that you've seen here, they have a life of about 50 years. When you're talking about a lot of investment going into that infrastructure that you will not need to change. So long as you continue good maintenance, you will not need to do anything about it for the next 100 years and beyond. So if you are to look at the life of the project vis-a-vis what it is costing us now, the pain is now, but the gain will be there for the next 100 years.
From where you sit, does the politics slow you down, especially, as the key drivers of such mega projects? Especially now, even as we head towards the elections, a lot has been said about, where the funding has come from.
No, it doesn't slow me down. We've come to appreciate that that is our makeup as Kenyans, that we have a lot of doubts in the things that we do, but it's part of nation building, it's part of coming together. By delivering this project within the time that we have, we are able to show that we can achieve a lot more if we are focused and work together. What was most important for us at Kenya Railways is the certainty with which the government showed the way. From the president to the cabinet, there was a lot of clarity where it is that we wanted to go. And with that assurance, we didn't need anything else.
Thank you very much. Atanas, Maina, congratulations, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.